Hello and a very warm welcome to Hamburg on finals day here at the German Tennis Championships. This week's port of call on the ATP World Tour 500 series of events. I'm Lee Goodall. I've got Jason Goodall alongside me today, and we're looking forward to what promises to be a high-quality title decider between two of the former players on the ATP Tour in recent weeks. And with Hamburg-born Tommy Haas still going strong this week, a centre court seat at the Rotenbahn Club this afternoon is the hot ticket in town. It's been 19 years since the local fans celebrated a German champion at this tournament when Michael Stich, now the tournament director here in Hamburg, got his hands on the trophy back in 1993. But all that could change this afternoon as German wildcard Tommy Haas takes on the Argentine third seed Juan Monaco. Between them, they've put out the top two seeds, Jason. They fully deserve to be in the final.
Both have played some really good tennis, not only this week, but of late, as you quite rightly suggest. Monaco coming off the back of making a final in Stuttgart last week before losing to Janko Tipsarevic. And of course, he'll crack the top 10 if he's able to get his hands on a third trophy of the season this afternoon. That hasn't happened, as far as he's concerned, since 2007. So he is enjoying a rich vein of form so far in 2012. Haas, of course, has got a great record here in Germany, having won 13 of his 15 matches so far this year, so should be a cracker.
Just about to welcome the two finalists into this wonderful arena, the centre courts here at the Rotenbahn Club. We have a roof if we need it, but I'm delighted to say the weather has improved since midway through the week. It's dry and fair. Pretty good tennis conditions all in all. The wind has dropped and there are plenty of fans who've turned out to watch this man, they hope, lift the trophy in around 2 or 3 hours time. Tommy Haas makes his way onto the court. Big day, Jason, for both men for different sorts of reasons.
Yeah, incredible really to see Haas back in a final here. 15 years ago he reached the semi-finals for the very first time. He's had so many serious injuries that he's had to rehab since then. It's so nice to see the desire that he has for the game in evidence. It has to be there when you go through the arduous task of strengthening the muscles in your body around injuries and getting back on the practice court and spending 1 hour getting back into good enough shape to be able to crack it on the ATP World Tour. Oldest player at 34 to be ranked inside the top 50 at the moment, so you know it gets tougher with each passing season, but he's played some great stuff this week. But he'll be severely tested this afternoon because Monaco makes an awful lot of balls. He's already won 2 clay courts titles this year, Vina Del Mar and Houston. And we already know that he came close to winning his third title last week in Stuttgart. So, you know, this is a guy that loves playing on the clay. And Haas has only ever won 1 clay court title. But this is 23rd final on the ATP World Tour. So, you know, much prefers playing on a hard court. So there's no question this will be a stern test of his clay court prowess this afternoon.
What a story for the tournament as well. Michael Stich, the tournament director, has been working tirelessly to retain the status of this tournament, really, hasn't he? It's used to be a Masters 1000 event. It's now 500, so 1 level below. But it's still a big tournament, and I'm sure he'll be delighted he's got a German in the final.
And he's a wild card, so you know you love that call as a tournament director, the fact that Haas wanted to play in this event, and you're delighted to give him the opportunity. But for him to then, you know, start beating top seeds left, right and centre and make it through to the final is a dream come true, really. We've seen all of his matches well supported by the fans throughout the course of the week, and of course it'll be a fairy tale end to the tournament if he's able to get his hands on the trophy this afternoon.
Carlos Bernardes will be in charge of this contest.
Check. You want to do the contest? It's easy, just go like this. You can choose.
Let the mascots take over with the coin toss. He took Carlos out with that one. Sounds like Monaco will receive. Quick photo on for the scrapbook for the kids, and we can start to talk in a little more depth about this matchup. Finals day then at the German Tennis Championships in Hamburg. It's the third seed, Monaco, who took out the top seed yesterday. And Tommy Haas, the wild card, Hamburg-born, the man who beat the second seed, Gilles Simon, midway through the week. Playing for 500 ranking points, a check for just over 200,000 euros. And they both had wonderful weeks. Haas has dropped just the one set. He beat the second seed, Gilles Simon, in the second round. He's beaten 3 seeds along the way on his passage to the final. Monaco had a really tough first round contest against Cedric Marcel Stebe, and in fact the German served for that match in the first round. He survived that and has gone from strength to strength. A hard-fought victory over the top seed Almagro yesterday.
And let's not forget he was 4-2 down in the third set against Almagro, so did exceptionally well to dig that one out eventually.
Monaco, 28 years of age. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and if you look at his ranking over the last couple of years, up to number 14 at the moment, and that's a career high ranking. That represents the kind of tennis he's playing this season. 2007, Jason, he won 3 titles, as you mentioned. It was 5 years before he won his next, but he's reproducing that season from 2007 now.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's his 15th ATP final this afternoon, the 14th on clay. So there's no question that this is his favourite surface, but I've often liked the way that he's played and often felt that he could do a little better when he steps out onto the hard courts and perhaps plays indoors towards the tail end of the season. But I guess when you're brought up on a surface, you're always going to feel most comfortable upon that, and that's the case as far as the Argentine's concerned. I love his attitude and his work rate, absolutely outstanding. Every single time gets out on a match court, you know what you're going to get. That was the big match initially against Stebe, won that one 7-5 in the third, and Daniel Muñoz de la Nava from Spain can play some ball. He was beaten in straight sets there. Jeremy Chardy fought back bravely in the second set of their quarter-final encounter once the roof came on and changed the conditions, which then started to favour the Frenchman. But Monaco managed to fend him off and win in straight sets 3 and 5, and then Almagro beaten from 4-2 down in that deciding set yesterday, 6-4 in the third. So good run of matches, and that will fill him full of confidence. Yes, he's played a lot of tennis this week, but he's one of the fittest players on the ATP World Tour, so still should have plenty of gas left in the tank.
He's going to have the crowd against him this afternoon, though, and this is the man at the other end of the court. Tommy Haas, 34 years of age now, but still very much going strong. Incredible story when you look at his ranking. Around a year ago, just over a year ago, he was in the 700s. He had double surgery at the start of 2010, missed 14 months. He's had all sorts of injury problems through his career. The start of this year, he's outside the top 200, but he's one of the best on the tour still.
And that's what you've got to admire, because it would be so easy for him to say, hey, listen, look, I've had a great career, former world number 2. I've achieved pretty much everything there is to achieve in the game, bar winning a big one. Silver medalist at the Olympics, let's not forget that. So it would be so easy then just to enjoy family life. He's a father now, and just think about what else he's going to do with the rest of his career. But no, he wants to get back out there on the practice court, put the hours in, graft away. He's in great shape physically. There isn't an ounce of fat on him. And of course, he's still got that burning desire, bordering on the psycho occasionally. Won his first couple of matches pretty comfortably. Gilles Simon was the defending champion here, of course, beat him in 3 sets. And then Meyer put up very little resistance. I was surprised by that in the quarterfinals. Haas winning that one for the loss of just 5 games. And then yesterday, similar scenario with Cilic, who's been playing really well. Fell away badly, having squandered a whole host of set points in the opening set. So Haas, I think, again, will have plenty of energy coming into the final.
They've got a bit of history, these two. This, in fact, their 5th meeting on the ATP World Tour. First couple came back in 2007. They've all been on hard courts, Jason. And Monaco has been the boss.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that. I mean, they've been tight matches. When they played at the US Open, 4 sets. When they played before that, the same season in Cincinnati, it was 6-3 in the third. Haas hasn't beaten them since 2007, where, strangely enough, Monaco was playing some really good tennis, having won 3 titles that year. So, you would suggest on clay Monaco the heavy favourites, but Haas playing so well at the moment. He's got nothing to lose. He's got the support of the crowd. He's got his wife Sarah here with him. And I just think, you know, this might be one of those tournaments where it's just meant to be. You know, wild card, very little to lose, starts playing better and better with each match that he gets under his belt, and eventually gets his hands on the trophy. You know, that would be the fairy tale ending. It's on his record. If he plays really, really well, I think he can beat Monaco, who historically has got a little tight when it's really mattered in finals. He doesn't have a great record on the final Sunday of big events. But if Haas plays poorly, Monaco will just be too solid. You know what you're going to get with the Argentine. His base level of play, day in, day out, is very, very consistent. Whereas with Haas, it's a different scenario. He's going to be trying to be a little more aggressive. He doesn't own a huge shot from the back of the court, but the variation he brings is really good. I'm looking to him to use the little slice backhand today to perhaps draw Monaco off the baseline. A drop shot has been outstanding all week. He'll use that again. Variation when returning, sometimes taking the ball early, sometimes stepping way back behind the baseline, letting the ball drop and just simply rolling it back in play. That's going to be important as well. So there's plenty of small battles within the overall war to keep an eye on today. But I think, you know, certainly the onus is on Haas to play his very best tennis to stand a chance of winning.
Tommy Stouds, courtside, the man in the whites. Looks like a Wimbledon top, that one, doesn't it? He's got his Sunday best on today. Worth talking about the finals records, Jason. You mentioned that there. Monaco 5-9, his win-loss record in finals. Not brilliant. Haas, on the other hand, has won his last 8 finals. That's impressive, isn't it?
Dating back to 2002, and it's amazing to think, you know, he was playing big finals 10 years ago, lost to Agassi on that occasion. So that gives you some indication of the longevity of his career, which has been outstanding. But yeah, definitely a question mark over Monaco's attitude when it really matters. He does tend to get a little tight.
Well, just about set then for the final here at the German Tennis Championships. 2012 we're in Hamburg, Germany. And we're about to watch Juan Monaco, the third seed from Argentina, go up against the unseeded German, the wild card, Hamburg-born Tommy Haas. What a story it would be if he can cross the finish line this afternoon. He's the first German finalist since 1993, the year Michael Stick, the tournament director, held aloft the trophy. I wonder whether Mr. Stick has got his fingers crossed wherever he is in the stadium this afternoon. It would be a great story for his tournament. It would attract even more media coverage. Monaco, the first Argentine finalist since 2003. Guillermo Correa won the title that season. It'll be Haas to serve first. Best of 3 tiebreak sets.
Haas got off to a shaky start. Looked a little nervous in the semi-finals yesterday. Needs to give the crowd plenty to cheer initially here for them to become a factor.
As I've mentioned, Jason, Monaco with a chance to crack the top 10 if he wins this afternoon. Will that be on his mind? Is that something that's tough to block out? It's a big achievement for a player, isn't it?
Huge milestone, isn't it? To crack the top 100, then 50, then 20, then 10. I'm sure he'll be well aware of the significance of the result this afternoon, but of course you've got to put all of those thoughts right to the back of your mind. Just concentrate on each point as it comes. Especially when your record isn't particularly good in finals. You've really got to try and stay positive and stay within the moment.
15-13.
Good depth from the German. That's the kind of support he will enjoy. He gives the crowd something to cheer this afternoon.
He's got a world-class backhand, but still plays some of his most effective tennis when he occasionally runs around it and uses the forehand as he did there. Lovely shape to that last shot, nice height, good spin. And that ball lands close to the baseline. Tough to defend against it.
Enjoyed considerable success at Grand Slam level. Tommy Haas, 3 times a semi-finalist in Australia. A semi-final at Wimbledon, 2009, quarterfinals the US Open, 3 occasions. As you mentioned, Jason, silver medalist at the Sydney Games, lost to Yevgeny Kafelnikov in the final back in 2000. That's a good opening game from the German. That should settle the nerves. An improvement on the start he made in yesterday's semi-finals against Cilic.
Yeah, coming into this match, led the tournament in service games won. Now 137 of 42. So that always gives you a really good base to work from. He's made first serves when he's needed them most this week. He's never going to break any records in terms of the pace that he generates. Had all sorts of shoulder problems throughout the course of his career, but it's about variation now, keeping his opponents guessing, throwing in the kicker occasionally as well as a first serve, especially when serving to the ad court. He's done that well throughout the course of the week. Early return from Haas. That's another feature of this match, how he deals with the Monaco's second serve, which is relatively weak. Is he going to take it early? Is he going to move back, let it drop? Is he going to mix up the two?
Well, that was a delicious drop shot, but what about that get from Monaco? He talks about his athletic ability, Jason. He demonstrated it there.
Absolutely phenomenal, because Haas parachuted that drop shot in there perfectly. Couldn't have hit it any better. And I think he expected it to be a winner in the end. But, incredible dig. Really pumping those legs. And Haas taken by surprise there. That'll serve as a wake-up call. Be ready for the second shot from here on in.
Well, had the bravery to try it again. This time, Monaco could do nothing.
It's a tactic that works well, because Monaco sometimes gets caught a little deep behind his baseline. So Haas will continue to go to the well there. The disguise on the shot is so good. Looks like he's just going to move in, perhaps play an approach shot or a normal sliced backhand. And just has the ability to take all the pace off the shot, open the racket face perfectly to flight it beautifully. Interesting one for Monaco as well, because normally he'd hit most of his backhands cross-court, forehands inside out, pepper the right-hander's backhand, but we know Haas is so technically sound that perhaps Monaco might start to think about trying to break down the forehand, or at least going to that wing initially before then going to the backhand.
Just missed. Just pushed it wide. Rock solid from Haas. And he will have an early break point. Well, it was a horrible drop shot. But what about the forehand?
Yeah, a couple of horrors there. Really nervous shot from Monaco, looking for a quick end to the points. It's ill-advised when you break point down, but Haas just rushing the forehand. Both players with tension in the arm out there.
Yeah, got out of jail, the Argentine, on that occasion. Back to deuce. Almost.
It's a risky business when you're attempting that shot at the end of a long rally and you're behind the baseline. So Monaco won't mind Haas attempting that shot in those circumstances.
Would be his biggest title, were he to win this afternoon, Monaco. The 5 titles that he has won have all been ATP 250s. This is an ATP 500, so slightly bigger tournament, more ranking points on offer, bigger prize money, more status. Think of the ATP Tour in 3 tiers. You've got the ATP Masters 1000s, 9 of those at the top. The likes of Monte Carlo, Cincinnati, Miami, Indian Wells. Then you've got the ATP 500s, 11 of those through the season. This being the 6th of those 11 this year, and then just below those, around 40 ATP 250s. That would be another milestone for him as well, wouldn't it?
Be a significant one. If he could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and win his first 500 and break the top 10, what a day that would be. Painting the lines.
German number 3 at the moment, Tommy Haas, behind Philipp Kohlschreiber and Florian Mayer, just outside the top 20, those 2 players. Haas will be making another jump up the rankings regardless of this afternoon's result, though. Should be around the mid-30s if he loses, and if he wins, into the top 30.
And again, that's a great effort at 34 years of age.
Monaco, of course, would join Juan Martin Del Potro in the top 10 who to come through this contest this afternoon. 2 Argentines in the top 10. That would be a great effort. Although they've always been a strong tennis nation, particularly on this surface. The drop shot gets the job done once more. No breaks of serve as yet in the early stages of this final. Tommy Haas leads by 2 games to 1. A little bit wild so far in these opening 4 games, Monaco. Not quite the solidity we saw yesterday against Almagro. Great point.
Fantastic tennis played on the front foot there. Love the appetite to take the ball on the rise, particularly off the backhand. And then that last shot of the rally there wasn't easy. Very strong overhead. And I think he's got to play some good all-court tennis today to get the right result. So that will help the confidence.
Half chance for Haas, love 30.
Stands nice and wide when serving to the ad court. Monaco just to try and create more of an angle. Use that kicker, outmaneuver his opponents.
Disappointed with that. He's a fiery character, Tommy Haas, isn't he? We saw a bit of that yesterday.
There's one way to describe it. Border on the psycho occasionally. You can see that look in his eye. I love the intensity.
It's very high standards. Just needs to keep those emotions in check this afternoon. There it is again. It's working a treat so far this afternoon.
Monaco didn't move at all, did he? He just didn't read it. That's why disguise is so important on this shot. Just looked like Haas was going to play a normal slice backhand, but he loves that one going down the line. So Monaco's going to have to be careful there. He's got to move up the court a little more, so it makes that shot a little more difficult for Haas.
Another break chance for Tommy Haas. Well, living dangerously, but in the end you've got to say justice done. And Tommy Haas gets the break.
Wonderful adjustments made by Haas throughout the course of that last rally, with the ball constantly clipping the top of the net and then choosing precisely the right moment to pull the trigger and go up the line. He's made a nice bright start here, bodes well.
Yeah, much more settled than 24 hours ago. Slipped behind 3-love in the opening set against Cilic in the semis. Hit form early in this final. 3-1. Have to remain focused this afternoon, though, Tommy Haas. We saw just what a fighter Monaco is yesterday against Almagro. I mean, he was pretty much outplayed in the first set. All of a sudden, hit back in the second. And kept on going. Came back from 4-2 down in the third.
He's won so many matches of late that becomes a habit. Doesn't matter what situation you find yourself in. Lovely feel there on the topspin lob, and again it was aimed over that backhand wing of Haas's. Really good target. Shot well today, Haas, in the early stages of the match. Just peppering the Monaco forehand, forcing him to move to his right. He much prefers to move to his left, to run around the backhand and hit that forehand from that central attackable zone in the court. Footwork is so good there. Having hit the initial forehand nice and deep, Haas correctly anticipating the fact that the return might drop a little short, so he was ready to take the ball on the rise, and in doing so, of course, gave Monaco very little time to actually recover and chase that one down. Lovely combination of shots from the German.
Back to 30-all. Oh, fantastic tennis.
Absolutely brilliant. The return initially from Monaco, outstanding. Haas did so well to keep that ball in play. Terrific dig for Monaco to chase that one down, and look at the spin that he imparts on the ball. Manages to get back on his feet, but where's the dive? If you're not going to put in any effort, what's the point?
Yep, he's made it. The strong start continues for Tommy Haas. He's come flying out of the blocks in Hamburg this afternoon. Sits down with a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Exactly what the crowd wanted. Haas has given plenty to cheer. He's just made a handful of unforced errors, really. It's been the only flaw. Haas has played more aggressive tennis. He's come into the match with a very specific game plan, and so far he's executed it exceptionally well. So now it's a case of problem solving as far as the Argentine's concerned. Will there be a response here in this opening set?
Sweet.
Of the two, Haas hits that shot much better. He's got the ability to change the direction of the shot with great disguise. So Monaco finding it particularly easy to pick the shot, and of course he does tend to try and hide the backhand by standing left of centre, so there is a gap there for Haas to hit into.
Hours of drilling on the hard courts of America have honed the Tommy Haas game. Moved to the States as a youngster. Spent a long time at the Nick Bollettieri Academy in Florida and lives in the States these days. Dual citizenship. Young family now. Daughter Valentina was running around to play a restaurant just before the final. Born in 2010. His wife courtside throughout the week. Looking a little bit tense at times.
Yeah, she plays every shot for Tommy.
Oh dear.
There's consistency from the back of the court, Monaco. He does have problems when he tries to hit through the ball a little more frequently, generate a little more pace. It's a natural style of tennis for him to try and play.
Stays in touch, just the one break of serve. 4-1. Always looks and feels like a big gap, but when there's one break of serve, it can quickly disappear, particularly on a clay court. theoretically easier to break serve on a slightly slower surface such as clay. Four-two.
Poor footwork. Needed to move up the court there. Swinging, not allowing the ball to come to him. Trying to be aggressive, get up the court, take it early, as Haas has done for much of the match so far. First point of the game. It's so important, really does set the tone.
Didn't miss by much. Umpire Carlos Bernardes isn't budging. Sometimes the umpires will come down onto the court to check a mark on this surface. Normally the ball leaves quite a clear mark when it hits the clay. No need for Hawkeye for the players. We have it for TV, but not for the players to use this week.
Two unforced errors already. Haas can't afford any more now in this game.
Chances now for Monaco. Feely's working his way back into this contest, perhaps a little tight towards the start of the match. A big day for him, big final. Only natural to feel a little bit nervous. Opportunities to get back into this first set now. 2 break points. Pushed it long. Umpire's going to check the mark. Haas is happy with the evidence. So is Carlos. Officials have been spot on this week, Jason, haven't they?
Yeah, quality of the line calling has been outstanding. I like Carlos Bernardes as an umpire as well. Always officiates with a smile on his face, helps to relax the players, diffuse any nasty situations.
There's the break back. It didn't take too long. And Juan Monaco is back in this opening set. Back on serve, Haas leading 4 games to 3.
Bit of a gift that for Monaco. 4 unforced errors from Haas. It's occasionally throwing games like that. So what they'll try and do is not let that affect him too negatively. Emotional standpoint. Monaco's always so focused. Some players check out at the change events, they relax, look around, check out what's happening in the crowd, and then we're able to flick the switch and concentrate just prior to the start of the very next game. Others need to maintain that concentration, method acting, because very much one of those. been given an opportunity in this opening set. Still trying to make the most of it.
Haas with a bit more to think about now then. Led 4-1, back on serve. In terms of level of tournament, it wouldn't be Tommy Haas's biggest victory if he comes through this afternoon, but because he has won an ATP Masters event when Stuttgart had a Masters Series tournament indoors on hard courts back in 2001. But I think emotionally it would be a big deal, wouldn't it, in his home city, home soil, in front of his fans, at this age as well, would mean a lot.
I think that's the key. I think you savour the victories when you get a little older, don't you? Like Federer at Wimbledon. They mean just a little more because you know there aren't going to be that many more.
Yeah, I read an interview with him just before the Halle grass tournament, which is just before Wimbledon. And he was saying, you know, I'd love to just win one more title. Beat Federer in the final there in front of his German fans, and he's on the brink of another here, must be pinching himself. Also talked about how important it was to get his ranking back up as well, just so he can play these bigger tournaments, put himself in the position.
That's the key. You know, if you've played as much tennis at the top level as Haas, you want to be mixing it with the big boys on a regular basis, and you can only do that if you've got a decent ranking.
Big point, 30 all. Completes the comeback. Recovers from 4-1 down. Back to 4 all.
Good passage of play. Very few errors in the last couple of games. Love that little sneak. intelligent use of the slice serve in order to open up the court. Just aggressive enough, not overly so with the first ground stroke of the rally, but instantly recognizing that Monaco had to defend there with the open racket face, so the time was right to surge forwards. It's a tactic that's effective on any court surface. It's all about understanding the effectiveness of the ground stroke and whether your opponent's going to be able to attack or defend or not.
No call. The umpire will check on his way to have a look at the mark. Calls it good.
Monaco's not in complete agreement with him, is he? I'll tell you what, it's another brilliant call by the umpire.
That is some call, isn't it? It's not easy to see those marks, is it? Particularly when the ball's going through fast, skidding off the court. Monaco mumbling and grumbling down the other end of the court, needs to focus here. Important stage of the set.
First shot the rally there. Monaco expecting Haas to go inside out with the forehand. To commit himself to come in behind it, because then you allow Monaco an easy out.
Good width from the Argentine.
Yeah, shots are nothing from Haas there. Doesn't play that if he's not 40 love up.
Still a couple of game points for Tommy Haas, though. Probably starting to feel a little tense now. A couple of game points have slipped away. Just long. Haas survives, and that's a good response, having lost 3 successive games. Edge is ahead in this opening set. 5-4.
Well, easy to panic sometimes when you've had a sizable lead, and 4-1 is certainly that, at least emotionally, in a lot of players' minds. Once you squander that lead, sometimes you can start to panic, but Haas there just getting back to basics, cutting out the unforced errors, playing a really solid game at a crucial stage, because now all the pressure, of course, on Monaco, and we know historically it's have a tendency to get a little tight.
Lee Goodall alongside Jason Goodall. Coming to the climax of the first set in this German Tennis Championships final in Hamburg. It's been an intriguing opening set so far. But now we'll really get an idea of what these two are made of, particularly Monaco having to serve to stay in this opening set. 4-5.
It's a nice positive point. Court position, just moving a little further up the court. Taking time away from Haas.
Oh yes, a little luck. Just clipped the top of the net, but still a beautiful drop shot.
He takes it so early. That's why it's so very, very difficult to read. Look how he moves forwards here. There's very little margin for error there, but that one just dies. Wonderful shot.
Just pushes it wide, and that's a wonderful hustle from Monaco, pulled around the court.
Giving Haas a taste of his own medicine. That was a little drop shot there. Look at the anticipation. He's already moving up the court. Haas just getting a little greedy. Too close to the line.
Delighted to come through that pressure situation. I think this first set will be important in relation to the rest of the match, Jason.
Yeah, I think fitness won't really become a factor even if it goes the distance, but of course everybody likes to get a set under their belt and they can relax a little bit and open their shoulders. I don't think it's absolutely crucial as far as either player is concerned. Both will still believe they can win the match even if they don't win the opening set, I'm sure.
We saw how important it was yesterday, though, with Tommy Haas and Cilic, that match, didn't we? Saved 5 set points in the opening set. Took it 7-6 and then ran away with the second.
Yeah, and did play a lot better, and that could happen again this afternoon, especially with the crowd behind him. Monaco, I think, a very different player to Cilic. I was disappointed with how quickly he fell away yesterday in that second set, especially when you consider how many matches he's won of late. instead of two halves, hasn't it? There's no question Haas started the brighter of the two, timing the ball sweetly, making very few unforced errors. But second half of the set, you have to say that it's Monaco who's been ahead on points. That's why I think it's so important for Haas to keep holding serve, and he does have the advantage of serving first, so looking to make good use of that fact.
Rock solid from the German. Refusing to back down. Made to work a lot harder for his points the last couple of games.
You can really feel the tension, can't you? Both players taking a lot more time now between points. Crowd sense it too.
Come now, no mistakes. Come on.
Service game's running away from him. Monaco with a break point. Fabulous stuff. Under pressure, Haas delivers.
Monaco furious with himself for dropping that ball slightly short of a decent length, but Haas still had a lot of work to do. an easy shot, this. Hit it a little earlier than that. You go into the trams a little later, expose the open court to your right. So it has to be hit absolutely perfectly. Lazy there, or perhaps nerves playing their part. First thing to go when you are a little uptight. The footwork, fluency of movement.
And there is the break. Will that be a decisive break as far as this first set's concerned? Haas buckles under the pressure, and Monaco will come out serving for this opening set.
Full marks to Monaco. Just plugging away, making a lot of balls, not doing anything particularly special. Still will be a little disappointed when he's needed to play his best tennis. He has been able to do so. Just fundamental errors really hurting his cause. Fascinating to see Monaco handles the situation now. Doesn't have a big serve, can't get a lot of free points with it, so another solid service game here. His first set up to this point.
Serving for the set then. It's a great start to the game from Tommy Haas. Moving Monaco around. Make him work for this game.
That's what he did so well in the early stages of this match. He was able to subtly dictate play. Wasn't taking too many undue risks. Still working the ball around, drawing errors from Monaco. He's just got a little tentative in the last few games.
Just thinking he's kept his composure so far. Just needs to keep an eye on that in this game, doesn't he? Doesn't need it to get in the way.
Again, this is another basic error. How he came up on that ball. You've got to keep the head down. You've got to keep your shoulder over the ball as you brush up the back of it. But, when you get anxious, you often bring your head up to see whether the shot goes in or not. A little too early, as Haas did there.
That's a good effort from Monaco.
It really was fabulous tennis. Fantastic concentration. And you have to keep hitting each and every shot at full stretch. Haas just not able to get enough elevation on the lob, but good pace on the dunk.
Temperature's rising inside Tommy's head, I think. It's been a hard-fought set. Monaco's done a great job of putting himself in this position. 4-1 down, remember. Pulled himself back. Now holds double set point. That's a great effort from Juan Monaco. He's halfway there. Takes the opening set, 7-5.
Yeah, really good effort, that's because there's no question Haas came out of the blocks quicker at the two. So no panic from Monaco. And he managed to cut out the unforced errors and start making Haas work a little harder for the points. And then, of course, the German started to make a few too many unforced errors, and that really cost him in the end. He wasn't able to play aggressive enough when it really mattered. Monaco's first serve percentage, 86%. Absolutely fantastic, that, because that takes all the pressure off his second serve, which is relatively weak. Weren't that many breakpoint opportunities for either player, but Monaco converting 2 of 4, that always helps. It was a nip and tuck all the way, but Monaco able to play better tennis when he needed it most at the business end of the set, and that was the fundamental difference between the two.
Can Tommy respond then? That's the question. Let's find out.
To try and block out all that happened at the tail end of that opening set. It's not easy to do, especially when you're a highly strung individual like Haas. tactical perspective, he's got to remember what he was doing in the early stages of the opening set. We said at the top of the match that if he's going to have to play his best tennis in order to stand a chance of getting his hands on the trophy. If he does that, he's got the style of tennis, the quality of shot making from the back of the court, the all-court tennis he's able to play to get the job done. But if he doesn't play his best tennis, which was the case at the tail end of the opening set, Monaco's just going to be a little too solid for him. That's a good start. So it's never easy when you're up against somebody who's been brought up on the clay and plays a certain way. Look how well Monaco tries to hide the backhand. So blue balls there, all the backhands that he's hit in the match so far, the red balls, all the forehands. So you've got a good 70% of the court there where you're able to hit your favourite shot. And that's what Haas was doing well initially from a tactical perspective. He was going down the line with his backhand, he was going cross-court with his forehand to try and get Monaco moving to his right as opposed to his left, which he much prefers when he's running around the backhand.
He dug deep against Gilles Simon in the second round. Tommy Haas lost the first set 4-6. Came back to win in 3. 4-6, 7-6, 6-1. So four in the third, should I say. They just have the fight, there's no question about it. He won't give this up. That's one heck of a pickup. Stops it dead on the clay.
He's not a natural volleyer by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got good feel. Look how hard, deep passes in the court there, so the drop volley's always on. Opens up the face enough here to get a bit of slice on it, just enough elevation. Absolutely perfect. Case of whatever you can do. I've seen some exquisite feel from both players really throughout the match. Primarily, as far as Haas has been concerned, from the baseline with the drop shot. And this very similar in terms of execution. Stone dead.
Haas fighting hard to break through immediately at the start of the second set. Knows it's important to set the tone early, send a message to Monaco that he's not giving this up. And like we've said all week, Jason, it's all very well having a crowd behind you, but you've got to give them something to cheer and involve them, haven't you? And if he can make a good start in this second set, he'll keep them on his side.
That's what he did in the first set. Then, of course, he's got to try and continue playing that well when it really matters.
Break point. Inch perfect, that Monaco backhand. Made life very difficult for Haas. Yeah, it's made it's a lovely little flick from Monaco initially, but the backhand pass just too good.
And similarly, it was a strong flick of the wrist or the forearm from Haas. It got the job done in the end. Shades of the great Boris Becker there.
Another chance for Haas. This time he breaks through. And what a start to the second set. Haas is fighting back. One title Boris never got his hands on. Jason Michaelstedt, of course, we talked about him. 93, he won this tournament, but never won on clay, Boris, did he?
Come close on several occasions, most notably in Monte Carlo, I think. But
against Muster, yeah, match point.
Yeah. One or two things to say about the Austrian after that match, didn't he?
That he played a great match and he was a deserved winner.
Something like that.
Lost in translation, probably.
Yeah.
German tennis enjoying something of a purple patch at the moment with Haas's success here. They had Kohlschreiber and Meyer in the quarterfinals of the men's singles at Wimbledon. Angelique Kerber in the semis of the women's singles. Lizicki in the quarters. Andrea Petkovic, a recent top 10 player on the WTA Tour.
Julia Gorges as well, another that's had a lot of success on the WTA Tour in the last couple of seasons. So yeah, they've got a handful of players, both male and female, doing well at the moment. That's always healthy. They've been a strong tennis nation, haven't they? I think it's healthy for tennis when you've got a bunch of good Germans, a bunch of good French players, Americans too. They could do with one or two, just making a breakthrough at the very top of the game. Spain, of course, so strong. Have been for a number of years now. They're the real powerhouses. Argentina as well, especially on this surface.
Demonstrated by the number of tournaments on the ATP Tour the Germans have. 5 in total. This the 5th and last of the season. Munich, Dusseldorf, the World Team Cup there just before the French Open. Halle on the grass, Stuttgart last week, and now Hamburg.
That always helps the players make their way up the rankings, doesn't it? They can get wild cards like Haas this week. Younger players as well get experience of playing tennis at the highest level.
Lovely little flick into the open court.
It really was nice, wasn't it? Because he held it until the very last second, and it looked for all the world as if he was perhaps just going to bunt this up the line. Haas thought that too, so he was late setting off. Perfectly placed, right in the corner, giving Haas no time at all to even attempt to chase that one down. Simply can't afford those. So a part of the German's routine when he makes an error, goes to the towel, almost wipes the error from his mind, allows him to focus on the very next point.
Breakpoint chance for Juan Monaco. There is the immediate breakback. Disappointment for Tommy Haas and his German fans, because he's beginning to dominate this second set. As it is, we're back on serve. Haas 2-1.
It's always nice for the fans when you get to see a shot like that, but it wasn't necessary, was it? Lovely little lob from Haas, but Monaco had plenty of time here to turn around, play a normal shot. Haas hadn't come into the net at all. It can be dangerous. You start showboating like that.
Not a fan then, James.
I'm just thinking, you know, you're in a good position here. On serve, early stages, second set. Don't want to give Haas any opportunities.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I always think it's strange when you see players do that. When they blatantly have time, they almost stop running, don't they? Set themselves up for that big hot dog. It's like playing a final, dude. Come on.
Speaking of which, you can get some really nice sausages in the food court here. Fancy one now.
Bit of curry sauce.
Can't beat that. Nice little Warsteiner. Wash it down with.
Back to the tennis. Do you expect a wobble from Monaco? We talked about that at the start of the match. He does have a reputation. Is that going to play a part in the second set?
Well, Haas needs to make it close enough for that to possibly happen. What he doesn't want to do here is to fall behind so that it doesn't become a problem once the finish line does come into sight. So very important that Haas just does whatever it takes to stay on serve here. 3-all, 4-all, 5-all. Allow Monaco to get a little nervous and then see what happens. Quite the same scenario as the Tour de France, is it? Etiquette dictates that you're not really supposed to mount a challenge when the finish line is well within sight. Very different scenario as far as the tennis players are concerned.
Now that would be funny, wouldn't it? If you won the first set and then
Who's to victory
try after that. Strange elements of the final day of the Tour de France. Just deep. Jan slips away.
Another. Under no pressure there at all. Real let-off for Monaco. Wry smile from Haas. He can't quite believe he's missing shots like that. I think when you get a little older, there's a tendency to get a little more nervous as well, because you know victories like this so hard to come by. That was the case for Federer, wasn't it, at Wimbledon, I think, against Murray in the final. Never seen him that nervous before in a major. It had been a couple of years since he was able to win one, and he knew the importance of the occasion. Something Monaco did well in the first set. Very high percentage of first serves in, well into the mid-80s. Took all the pressure off that relatively weak second serve.
Haas will get another chance.
Such a tidy game this, isn't it, from both players? Very similar to the games we witnessed at the tail end of the first set.
Just wide. Haas isn't sure. Another tentative point from the German. Carlos lines himself up and wide. Like a cricket umpire, isn't it?
Definitely worth checking, wasn't it, given the importance of the point. A good call by Carlos.
Starting to get frustrated at the missed opportunities now. I think it's tough as a player, isn't it, when your opponent's having a bad game as well and you're not making the most of it. It's even more frustrating. Wife's getting involved as well.
I'll tell you what, she wants more effort right now, doesn't she? Complete focus.
We've got bills to pay.
It's always nice when you look over to your camp for a little bit of support and get a kick up the backside instead. But she's absolutely right. There's no need to be getting that frustrated. You've got to get really positive out there. Yes, you're a set down, but you're on serve in a second. You've had chances. You're not playing your best tennis, but you've still had chances. That's a positive in a way. All you need to do is raise the level of your game by a good 10%, 15% perhaps, and you're in with a real shout. Plus, you know Monaco historically has got a little tight in finals, so it's not like you're going to get blown off the court. You've got absolutely no chance.
So competitive. First 4 games of the second set have been split 2-piece. I think as a player, though, defeat's easier to accept when your opponent just plays too well. If it's too good, fair enough. But if it's a scrappy match and you just have that feeling inside that if you could just raise your game just 5–10%, but you can't, it's so frustrating, isn't it? And the harder you try, the worse it gets almost.
Absolutely. Try too hard. But at least I think you want to be in control of your own destiny. So if you are going to miss, at least miss being positive, going for it. That's the style of tennis that brought him so much success in the early stages of the match. Don't miss being tentative.
Good hands.
He was ready for that shot, wasn't he, Haas? Once he'd come in. Monaco did well. Plenty of spin, dipping to the German's feet. But, such good hands, both guys. Taking all the pace off that shot. That's the key. That's the biggest mistake that club players make, or perhaps juniors that are just learning the game. Not natural volleyers. They try and generate pace with that shot. They try and hit winners with it when all the great volleys in the game are so good at taking pace off the pass and just creating angles, putting the ball into spaces.
Good game from Haas, much more straightforward. Nice and quick, just what he and the Hamburg crowd needed. Haas on serve, 3-2, second set.
stage in the set. I think Haas just needs to say, okay, yeah, just to mix things up a little bit, I'm going to be really aggressive in this game. Try and take the ball on. If I make a couple of mistakes, doesn't matter. Worst case scenario, I'm on serve, but just try and take Monaco by surprise. Do something a little different. Still plenty of support for Haas. Looking for the hero to raise the level of his game now. Disappointed that the ball just popped up a little bit off the service line. Even so, still had time to make the necessary adjustment. Just putting on the brakes there, Haas, but a little too late, couldn't get enough traction. Perhaps needs to just change the tyres. Court getting a little drier now.
Haas has the advantage of serving first in this second set. Can help sometimes, particularly as the set develops. You get to, well, if you're serving and holding, of course, you get to 3-2, 4-3, 5-4. This puts a little extra pressure on the guy serving second. He slips up, it's all over. Whereas if you lose serve at 4-all, 5-all, then you at least have the chance to break back. Well watched.
No panic. The ball didn't go away initially. That's the key.
It's so easy to try and hit the second one. Twice as hard, isn't it?
At least.
Bounce it out of the court, drill it through the back fence. Just missed for me. Must be a test of my eyesight.
We'll say no more.
Yeah, wrong. Three apiece. Now things will start to get interesting. Of course, you could look at it the other way, couldn't you? If you're Tommy Haas and you're serving, okay, he's serving first, but if he drops serve, then the match could be over. Doesn't have much of a cushion.
Tough shot there. He's living dangerously at the moment. Plenty of angle with the return, and it was relatively deep too for Haas to be able to pull off a shot of that quality from that position. Outstanding shot making.
Should have done better, Monaco.
Had so much time there to realise that Haas was covering the little cross-court dink. He has somewhat fallen in love with that shot, Monaco, when chasing down short balls. Ball was nice and high there. Could have just rolled it down the line too. So many options. Good anticipation though in the end from Haas.
She means business. Top's coming off.
Yeah, Tom is in trouble now.
You could tell from the body language, couldn't you, as soon as he hit that drop shot, what he thought of it.
Just gave it a little too much air. Monaco does prefer that little cross-court flick. And because he had a little more time, he didn't have to hit it defensively. Timed the slide into the shot to perfection there.
Break point, Monaco. Oh, that's high quality stuff from Tommy Haas. Wonderful tennis under pressure.
He read each and every shot within the rally so well there. Didn't panic, just held his position. There was just a little too much air on the attempted pass from Monaco, so Haas was able to create a lovely little angle. Coming around the outside edge of the ball, and again taking pace off the pass. That's the key to volleying effectively at the highest level, especially on clay when you're not getting a lot of help from the court. You need to create the angles, you need to drop it over short.
Oh, sensational stuff. What a volley.
Some of the best tennis we've seen from Haas in this passage of play here in the last couple of minutes. Risky shot going cross-court if you don't hit a winner, because it opens up the line for your opponent. Haas knew that. He was tearing across the court to his right, and knew that that last shot had to be a winner, but again, touch didn't let him down. Phenomenal feel.
Monaco won't go away though. Perhaps just sensing that this game is there for the taking.
Yeah, that's what you always want, isn't it, as a spectator, as a fan? Both players to be playing their very best tennis at the same time when it really matters as far as the match is concerned. And that's what we've got here in this vital 7th game. Shame. Really good footwork initially from Monaco. Good length throughout the course of the rally. Did enough to draw the short reply from Haas. Didn't need to do as much as he wanted to with that last shot. Don't go for the winner there. Hit the approach. What can Haas do if that's 3 feet inside both lines? Very tough to pass from there. So that's off for the German.
Too good.
I love the way that Monaco constructed the point there. Good footwork initially to dance around the backhand time and time again. And then a perfect shot at the right time. Haas had to move back to his left there to perhaps defend the cross-court backhand, so he was off balance when he needed to set off for the drop shot, so had no chance to chase that one down. Again, both players have executed that shot perfectly this afternoon most of the time. Brilliant little pass that. I love the way he didn't try and hit the cover off the ball. It's all about accuracy. Nice opening up the court initially. Just dropping that one a little too short, but the key was he was a little late checking. I was thinking that Monaco there was going to attempt to pass him cross court. He had that shot covered, but not the line.
Break point to survive. Another chance for Monaco. Turning into a key game. There's the break. What a battle for that 7th game of the second set, and it's Monaco who breaks through. Just 2 games away from victory now. He leads a set and 4-3. Hamburg crowd trying to give their hero a push in the right direction. Change of shirt for Haas, hoping for a change in fortunes. Monaco with a break, 4-3. Knows he needs something special now, Tommy Haas, and that's an aggressive start to the game.
He's obviously decided in the last sort of 10 minutes or so that he needs to come in a little more frequently. Yeah. He's got good volleys, nice hands, great depth on that first volley. I love that tactic of taking that second serve return on and coming in behind it, even on clay.
Great start to the game. Again, important to involve the crowd. The fans weren't really a part of the match in the first half of this second set. Come into it a little bit more in the last 10 or 15 minutes, partly because the quality is improved from both players.
So cheap that. He's got a really good slice backhand on Haas, and the Haas on him making that shot.
15.
Monaco misses again. And Haas has engineered an opening. Can he take his chances? Double break point for the German. This is the first. takes the second, and what a way to do it. Punches the air in delight as soon as that backhand flew past Monaco. He's back in business.
And he gets the break by being nice and aggressive. Just thinking back to that first point of the game where he came in behind the second serve, and then of course finishing there with considerable aplomb. Much better game that from Haas. And again, that will only go to sow that seed of doubt in Monaco's mind about getting a little tight when it really matters.
We've witnessed another momentum swing in the last 5 minutes, haven't we? Feel like the crowd's behind Tommy now.
And I think it's definitely coincided with Haas deciding that he needed to be a little more aggressive. He's coming in a little more frequently. He's generating a little more pace now. It's a shame he's missed the volley there, but nothing wrong with the tactic.
It's a shame. Another super aggressive forehand. Just starting to miss a couple of balls though. Fine line, isn't it?
It is. Was there any need to smash that last shot? Just hit a normal ground stroke, nice and high over the net, nice and deep, start the rally again.
Yeah, he's made the pass. Brilliant backhand.
That really was. I thought Haas had made the right play by not going in with the initial forehand down the line, but by coming in on this one here. He hits it pretty well, but that's the advantage of having a double-handed backhand. When you get caught a little late like that at full stretch, you can still draw the ball back into the court and generate some decent pace with it too.
With his back against the wall once more. Double break point. A little edgy, that forehand.
You definitely don't want to be flirting with the net there at all. Stay well clear.
Another chance for the Argentine. Wonderful stuff from Monaco. Clay court artistry. Another momentum shift. 3 successive breaks of serve. Will that be the one that makes the difference? Monaco will serve for the title.
Terrific efforts by Monaco there, especially when you consider he dropped serve in the previous game. Look at him now, just trying to maintain that concentration, that focus that he had in that last game. One final push now to get himself over the finish line. He's had a terrific couple of weeks, a finalist in Stuttgart a week or so ago. He's only won 2 titles this year, looking for a third. That would be a career best haul as far as a single season is concerned. It would equal the 3 titles he won back in 2007. He'd be able to crack the top 10 for the very first time in his career. It would be the first time that he's been able to get his hands on an ATP Masters Series 500 trophy. So it's going to be a big game this next one.
The crowd doing everything they can, hoping for one final effort from their man Tommy Haas, Hamburg born. But he's got it all to do. Monaco, the 3rd seed, serving for the title. What a start to the game. That's not a man who's nervous, is it?
Oh, it's Federer-like, wasn't it? Remember the set point against Murray? Wimbledon, 2nd set. Volley very similar to this. Although I'd go as far as to suggest Monaco executed that one just a little better.
So Roger's not watching. Good tame from Tommy.
Yeah, gift drops that points. Much less pressure now. Monaco's just 2 points away. It seems like there'll be no fairy tale ending and no German winner this afternoon.
Almost 2 hours on the clock. This is the moment Juan Monaco has been waiting for. Double championship point. Oh, what a way to save the first.
Brilliant digs again from Monaco. Faults his efforts It's 100% every time he steps out there on the match court. Every point, irrespective of the scoreline.
Match point number 2. He's done it. The biggest day of Juan Monaco's career. His first ATP 500 trophy and a place in the world's top 10 tomorrow morning for the very first time. What a season he's having. The third title of 2012 for the Argentine number 2. He is the champion in Hamburg. A day to remember for the South American. Gets past Tommy Haas, the local hero. 7-5, 6-4.
Brilliant effort. A team effort too. Because the coaches and the trainers put in so much hard work on the practice court and in the gym, on the physio's table. It's a career milestone when a player first enters the top 100, then the top 50, then the top 20, and of course it becomes much more difficult then to hit those milestones, but top 10 is right up there. And Monaco certainly deserves his place amongst the world's elite. Third title of the season, and he just played better than Haas today. A little nervous perhaps initially when Haas was playing more aggressive of the tennis. But Monaco withstood that storm initially, played better towards the tail end of the first set, cut out his unforced errors, and then really started to play some of his best tennis of the week at the tail end of that second set. Keys to victory? Well, certainly he was able to get a high percentage of first serves in, and that's always vital because his second serve is distinctly attackable. He kept the unforced error count nice and low, and he played the big points well, converting 5 of 9 break points. And when asked to pass really well at the tail end of the second set, when Haas changed his tactics and started to come in a little more frequently, he was able to do that. And didn't he move around the court exceptionally well too? We knew that Haas was going to try and use the drop shot to disrupt his rhythm, to draw him off the baseline. But he chased all but a handful of those down, and then was able to turn defense into attack by winning many of those points, particularly towards the end of the match. So phenomenal effort by Monaco.
Now the prize giving. Well, Monaco's achievement begins to sink in. Takes the applause of the crowd once more. These are those days that all those mornings in the gym that's what it's all about, Jason, isn't it? All those hours on the practice court.
Yeah, all those laps around the track. He's got a terrific pair of lungs on him. He's got a big heart as well. Historically, he hasn't had the best of records in finals, but today, when it really mattered, he was able to play some of his best tennis of the week, which enables him now to get his hands on that trophy.
Geschäftsführer der Haas ENG des Veranstalters, Herr Detlef Hammer.
Congratulations from Michael Stick, the tournament director here.
Von der ATP, den Supervisor, Jerry Armstrong. Und unseren Oberschiedsrichter, Norbert Pike.
Monaco's 6th title of his career. 2007, when he really broke through on the ATP World Tour. 3 titles. That year, Kitzbühel, Portage and Buenos Aires. 5 years until he won another title, but He's replicating that 2007 season now, 3 titles this year. A few words from Mr. Schick.
Und das kann Tommy sicherlich nachvollziehen, ich kann es auch nachvollziehen und dann nochmal ganz herzliche Gratulation, Juan. Das ist erst der Anfang, it's just the beginning this year. Long way to go, so keep going there. Well done.
Good crowd today. It's been a good week, hasn't it? They've really benefited from the Tommy Haas story. Undoubtedly has brought fans through the gates, particularly this week, towards the end of the week, semi-finals day yesterday. Today, pretty much a full house inside the Rotenbahn Centre, just giving thanks to all the people behind the scenes. It takes a huge effort to stage a tournament of this size and this scale. The ball kids, the officials, the volunteers, sponsors, of course.
So ein Center Court gefüllt zu haben wie heute, Sie alle begeistern zu können, dank einem Tommy, der das natürlich auch möglich gemacht hat.
It's been a successful journey over the last 4 years. Maintain the importance of this ATP 500 in Hamburg, and says he's delighted that the final was played in front of a full house this afternoon. As always, there's thanks to the financial backers.
An einem Punkt angekommen, wo wir wirklich alle sagen können, wir sind damals genau den richtigen Weg gegangen. Wir waren Vorreiter in diesem Segment und in dem, was wir hier gemacht haben. Und diese Partnerschaft ist für uns unheimlich wichtig, wenn diese Partnerschaft auch
just reiterating how delighted he is with what everyone has achieved at this tournament. You mentioned it was formerly an ATP Masters 1000, but it's remained a big date on the ATP calendar each summer. Continues to attract a strong field each year. 7 of the top 25 players in the world were here on Monday.
Und dann habe ich bestimmt jemanden vergessen, dafür entschuldige ich mich jetzt schon mal. Bei dir habe ich mich vorhin schon bedankt, Matthias. Das mache ich gerne nochmal. Ich finde, du hast
getting his apologies in early as well, in case he's forgotten to thank someone.
Die ganze Produktion gemacht haben, das Bild in die Welt rausgetragen haben. Dieses Finale ist wird übertragen, ich glaube, über 65 Länder.
A couple of words for the MC, who's been in fine form all week.
Mit tollen Bildern, mit allem, was dazugehört. Und das macht einfach einen Riesenspaß, mit euch zusammenzuarbeiten.
And also a word for the company behind the TV production. It goes out to 65 countries across the world this tournament.
Das ist das Allerwichtigste. Auch wenn es so sein sollte, was mit Trinov, ich meine, das
Truly international event.
aus unserer Sicht verloren hat. Das Schöne ist, dass er vielleicht in anderer Zeit nächstes Jahr nochmal wiederzukommen.
A word for Tommy as well. Says he's sorry it didn't go his way today, but maybe it will provide incentive for him to come back next year, try and go on better.
Auch natürlich, dass wir die Tennisfans wirklich auch wieder begeistern konnten und dass sie trotz allem auch nächstes Jahr sagen, auch wenn es vielleicht mal ein Deutscher nicht ins Halbfinale schafft oder ins Finale, dass sie trotzdem Lust haben, herzukommen, uns mit ihrer Anwesenheit zu unterstützen und einfach gemerkt haben, hier kann man sich toll unterhalten, hier hat man Spaß.
He hopes Tommy Haas's family has had a good week in Hamburg as well.
Deswegen brauchen wir sie dafür und ich freue mich wirklich, wenn sie im nächsten Jahr
Wife and daughter have been on site supporting Tommy all week.
An dieser Stelle, meine Damen und Herren, dürfen wir nun das Wort überreichen an den Sprecher unseres Hauptsponsors, der Communications Director von Planet Home, Herrn Klaus Ritschizek. Herr Klaus, bitte.
Ja, Michael, danke für die Worte. Ich kann das kurz beginnen.
Klaus Ritschizek, Communications Manager of the title sponsor.
Diese erfolgreiche Partnerschaft weiter fortsetzen können.
Vielen Dank an dein Team für die tolle Arbeit und ich freue mich schon auf eine gemeinsame Zukunft.
First of all, thanks to Michael Stick and his team, who've done a great job in staging such a successful event and telling everyone inside the arena that he hopes to see them all next year. Already looking forward to a successful 2013 staging of this tournament.
Ja, ganz besonders möchte ich den Tommy gratulieren und mich bei ihm bedanken. Also er war hauptverantwortlich dafür, dass wir so eine tolle Turnierwoche erleben durften, dass so viele Zuschauer gekommen sind. Das war der Tommy in erster Linie.
And again, another word for Tommy Haas, as he appreciates just what he's done for the tournament this week. It's his story that has urged fans to come through the gates, fill this centre court, semi-finals day and final day. Crowd showing their affection for the German number 3, former world number 2, remember, one of the German greats.
Ja, dann möchte ich mich natürlich bei euch, liebe Zuschauer, bedanken. Es ist nicht selbstverständlich, dass man so zahlreich kommt.
A word for the fans too. Has made such a difference. Always does, doesn't it? Playing a big final in front of a big crowd, it raises the players' levels.
Ja, und zum Schluss wünsche ich uns allen noch einen schönen Sonntag und ich freue mich schon auf das nächste Jahr. Dankeschön.
Vielen herzlichen Dank.
And he says he looks forward to seeing each and every one of the fans in 12 months' time.
Aktion mit den $100.000, das werden wir nächstes Jahr hoffentlich weiterführen. Dann machen wir das auch noch ein bisschen größer. Ja? Und dann gibt es hier vielleicht sogar den einen oder anderen, der noch ganz, ganz reich hier nach Hause geht. Aber reich an Emotionen sind wir auf jeden Fall heute alle, könnte ich mir vorstellen. Und deshalb kommen wir jetzt zu dem Moment, zu den beiden Herren, die uns genau diesen Sonntag hier beschert haben. Wir sind bei der Ehrung der beiden Sieger. Und das sage ich ganz ausdrücklich. Auf Platz 2. Ein tolles Finale, vor allem ein tolles Turnier gespielt. Ich glaube, wir können alle sagen, Hamburg ist stolz auf ihn. Hier ist Tommy Haas.
First up then, Tommy Haas, the 2012 German Tennis Championships runner-up. A fantastic effort. Beat 3 seeds along the way to reach the final. Gilles Simon, Florian Mayer and Marin Cilic. And he goes home with a check for just under €100,000 for his effort. He'll be in the mid-30s in terms of the rankings tomorrow morning. It's been a great week. His second final of 2012. A word with Michael Stick.
Das mache ich gerne. Vielen Dank. Erstmal vielen Dank für die netten Worte. Aber erstmal das Allerwichtigste für mich ist wirklich, und das meine ich ernst, an euch und das Publikum. Ihr wart Spitzenklasse, dass ich das nochmal erleben durfte, hier vor euch zu spielen. Und so gut, das freut mich wirklich.
A word of thanks to all his fans inside the Rotorbahm's centre court arena this afternoon. Says it was an honour and a pleasure to play in front of them.
Congratulations, you played a fantastic match. Great year so far. Congratulations on top 10. Enjoy the rest of the year and keep playing like this.
Pays tribute to quality of play from Juan Monaco.
Ohne mein Team ist das alles nicht möglich. Es passiert sehr viel hinter den Kulissen. Viel harte Arbeit, viele Trainingsstunden, um all das möglich zu machen. Wie gesagt, dass ich noch einmal hier das erleben durfte,
Thanks to his team.
das Finale zu bestreiten.
His wife just on the left of the picture there.
Alles zu geben, da gehört sehr viel dazu und das macht mich so menschenglücklich, dass ich das nochmal erleben darf in meiner Karriere, denn ich wusste nicht, ob ich das überhaupt nochmal zustande bringe und dass ich das jetzt nochmal geschafft habe und eventuell noch hoffentlich längere Zeit weitermachen kann. Vielen Dank an mein Team. Was mich natürlich noch umso mehr freut, ist natürlich, dass meine Verlobte hier ist mit meiner Tochter, die das erste Mal in Hamburg ist, meine Heimatstadt, wo ich geboren bin, dass die alles mal sehen durften hier und auch das Publikum spüren könnten, weil ich habe das ja schon
Says he's had a good time showing his family around his hometown. Born in Hamburg. She was certainly behind him 100% this afternoon.
Dann natürlich, was Michael schon angesprochen hat, mit das Wichtigste natürlich an alle Sponsoren, an all die Leute, die dieses Turnier hier wirklich in die Wege leiten, ist möglich.
And also with the sponsors, team who helped stage this tournament. All the volunteers behind the scenes who help make the tournament run smoothly. He hopes to be back in 2000. No doubt he's enjoyed his week in his hometown.
Meine Damen und Herren, nach diesen ersten Emotionen, die wir vorhin von ihm gesehen haben, freuen wir uns nun, den Mann zu ehren, der hier unter der Woche bis heute das beste Tennis gespielt hat. Das ist das beste Tennis seiner Karriere, das hat er gesagt. Ich glaube, wir haben uns alle davon überzeugen können, wie stark er ist. Und er steht zu Recht ab nächster Woche in den Top 10. Der Sieger Bochum 2012, Juan Monaco!
There he is, the champion, the winner of the 2012 German Tennis Championships from Argentina, the third seed, Juan Monaco. The trophy is his, along with a cheque for €216,500. The propeller-shaped trophy, significant since Hamburg is one of the biggest ports in the world, Germany's biggest port, the third largest in Europe, and a city with a rich maritime history. A day to remember for the Argentine. The first Argentine to win this tournament since Guillermo Coria in 2003. And once more he has demonstrated his quality on this surface. 6 titles during his career, and every single one of them has come on the dirt.
Not yet. You're not supposed to make holidays already, so wait for the end of the year. Okay. And obviously I have to give you the mic now. You have to say something. You have to, yes. There's no way around it.
And now a few words from our champion.
Okay, first of all, Tommy, congratulations to get here in finals. I think we played a great match. Today was for me. Next time will be for you. We played great. I hope all you guys enjoyed the match. Then, thank you to all the sponsors that made possible this great tournament. Have a very nice week here. Thank you for everything. Then thank you to all the ground, all the people. Had
Words of thanks.
a very nice week here.
Once more for everyone who's helped put on the show.
I will always remember this very week for me. Thank you. Then my team, to be there always.
And thanks to the team as well, who've been courtside urging him on every step of the way.
Thank you very much.
This week. He's had some big victories. His opponent in the first round, Cedric Marcel Stebe, served for the match, remember. Came through that one 7-5 in the third. Beat Munoz de la Nava 7-6, 6-3 in the second round. Shardy in the quarterfinals. Almagro in the semis.
Para mi familia, para mis amigos, para mi equipo, no me quiero olvidar de nadie, mis médicos, toda la gente que hace posible que yo pueda estar luchando cada semana. Así que les mando un abrazo grande desde acá. Estoy muy feliz y bueno, quería compartirlo con ustedes. Un abrazo muy grande a todos. Thank you very much for everything. Hope to see you next year. Thank you.
Let's hope he's back. Popular champion. Always a pleasure to watch him play. Always gives 100%. a worthy winner of such a big title. Monaco will go on to London, I guess now, Jason, part of the Argentine Olympic squad, of course. I guess he won't be expecting too much on the grass in London, but it gives him a good platform to build for the rest of the season, doesn't it?
Of course it does. So confident, you know, he's got absolutely nothing to lose there. Why not continue to ride this wave of confidence into London? And then let's not forget about London a little later on in the year as well. If he's just broken into the top 10 for the very first time, it means his race ranking is going to be right up there as well. But of course it will become a little more difficult for him to take the success that he's had on the clay, which is of course his favourite surface, onto the hard courts of North America post-Olympics, and then of course in the indoor season a little later on. But that's what I really like about tennis, the fact that you have these guys knocking on the door of qualifying for the season-ending championships at the O2 Arena. And the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. Thoroughly deserves his place amongst the world's top 10 for sheer effort alone. He's a great professional. Every time he steps out there on a match court, he gives 100%. And it's really nice to see him getting the reward that he deserves for all of his efforts.
Yeah, we saw him in the final in Valencia last year, didn't he? So that's an indoor hard court tournament towards the end of the season. Proves he can play well on that surface. A big day for him, getting his hands on an ATP 500. It's just another psychological boost, isn't it? It's all about confidence, this game.
Well, you can see what it meant to him in terms of his reaction after winning the tournament here, because it is so hard to get your hands on one of these trophies. All of his previous victories have come at the lowest level of the professional ladder, as it were, at the ATP Masters Series 250 events. And you only have to look at the previous winners this year to get a real feel for how difficult it is to get your hands on one of these trophies. So, I mean, he'll be so proud to be up there with the likes of Federer and Nadal at this level this season. Opportunities abound as well for those that are heading to Washington, of course, with everybody being at the Olympics. I think there's an opportunity there for perhaps another winner as well. And then, of course, it'll be as tough as nails, as it always is, a little later on in the year in Beijing and Tokyo, when we're in the middle of the Asian swing there. And then, of course, when we head indoors, tail end of the European swing in Valencia and Basel before we go to Paris. And then, of course, before we finish things off in London.
Yeah, high quality schedule, lots of good tennis to look forward to. Well, it's time to say goodbye from Germany. Until next time, from me, Lee Goodall, Jason Goodall alongside me, and all the team behind the scenes here in Germany. It's goodbye from Hamburg.